In the heart of Southeast Asia, surrounded by imposing mountains and the crystal-clear waters of the South China Sea, lies the Philippines, the closest thing to paradise on Earth. A country full of contrasts with wonders as exceptional as its ways of life, with women who adore the white man, to the point of wanting to attract tourists in search of a mate, or realities often as extreme as people living in cemeteries or under sewers among the most inhospitable streets on Earth. A region with such extraordinary ethnic groups as the Bajau tribe, also called fishmen, whose bodies have adapted in an amazing way to the environment until they have been genetically modified to develop superpowers that help them to dive for many minutes under the waters of the most beautiful of the seas. Get ready to discover one of the most beautiful countries in the world, with paradises like the island of Palawan or regions like El Nido, considered by many as the most beautiful island on the planet, or places like the Taal Volcano, whose lake is located inside a volcanic crater with another island inside the same lake, creating the surreal illusion of a place that does not seem real. A paradise that has much to do with being located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the places most prone to natural disasters, cataclysms that shape this extraordinary landscape. A country full of contrasts, where you can find whale sharks and the largest crocodiles on the planet, with killer coconut trees and curious beauty contests in which hundreds of women, considered by many as the most beautiful in Southeast Asia, parade in tiny bikinis under the watchful eyes of foreign tourists. A place with unique traditions such as the Ruma Bahru, in which the wedding guests build a house for the newlyweds, who are then encouraged to retire to a room to enjoy their intimate evening while the party goes on. Pay attention and don't miss this new video of Uncensored World. Soon you are going to travel with us in the Philippines, probably one of the most beautiful and extraordinary places on the planet. Let's get started. Surely there are few places as fascinating, complex, and full of contrasts as the Philippines. An archipelago with one of the most exuberant natures on Earth, with white sandy beaches, volcanic mountains, and vegetation that seems to come out of a tropical dream, but also a country extreme in its challenges, being considered among the most densely populated countries in the world, with a quarter of its population living in extreme poverty. Despite these difficulties, the country presents striking contrasts, such as its remarkable literacy level, one of the highest in Southeast Asia, where more than 95% of Filipinos over the age of 15 have received a school education. In its streets, the stories of the past intertwine with the realities of the present, while a vibrant life, full of hope and struggle, unfolds at every turn. This archipelago is composed of more than 7,000 islands spread over an area of approximately 300,000 square kilometers. To put it in perspective, its size is similar to that of New Zealand or half the territory of Italy. But despite its small size, its population is enormous. With over 110 million inhabitants, the Philippines has one of the highest population rates in the world, which puts enormous pressure on its resources and living space, something that has a lot to do with the fact that the country is home to some of the darkest neighborhoods on the planet. The Philippines is no stranger to the difficulties of the past. For centuries, it was colonized by various empires, from the Spanish to the Americans, which has left a deep imprint on its culture and society. A curiosity that few know is that its name, Philippines, comes from King Philip II of Spain, who in the 16th century decided to give his name to the archipelago. At a time when the Spanish Empire never set the sun, the explorer from Malaga, Ruy López de Villalobos, arrived to the islands then known as Islas de Poniente, with the intention of uniting them to the Spanish crown. Once he had colonized them, he named them the Philippine Islands in honor of the then Prince of Asturias and future King, Felipe II. Thus, from Felipe, Filipinas, and Filipinas came the definitive name of the Philippines. This Spanish influence is still very visible in the country, not only in its architecture and traditions, but also in its language. Although Spanish is no longer widely spoken by the general population, its linguistic legacy is evident. Filipino, one of the official languages, shares approximately 60% of its vocabulary with Spanish, providing a unique link between the two countries. Although Spanish as a native language is rare, many words and phrases are understandable to Filipinos, which facilitates some basic communication with Spanish speakers. In addition to Filipino, more than 100 dialects are spoken in the Philippines, reflecting its rich cultural diversity. Life for the people who inhabit this archipelago can be difficult, but hope and community have always been fundamental pillars. The contrast between the more developed areas and the poorer neighborhoods such as Tondo, the most overcrowded neighborhood in the world with people said to sleep even inside sewers, is truly disturbing. We will soon go into the detail of the extreme life in the Tondo district, but before that we will get to know the capital of the Philippines, Manila, the city where Tondo is housed, and also one of the most densely populated places on the planet, with more than 40,000 people per square kilometer in some of its areas. To put this in perspective, imagine if more than 200 people were crammed into a soccer field every day. In this city, many people earn less than $10 a day, facing a daily challenge to survive. This dire situation has much to do with the country's high birth rate, a phenomenon that has much to do with religion and the lack of access to contraception in some areas. Despite these challenges, Filipinos are still known for their warmth and friendliness, earning them the nickname of the country of the smile. A human warmth reflected in the way Filipinos interact with others, always willing to help, to share a moment and to make everyone feel welcome, even strangers. That is why the city's streets are full of life but also of profound inequality. It is common for people to live in extreme conditions, even inhabiting places as extraordinary as cemeteries. In some of these cemeteries, families make themselves comfortable among the graves, building small improvised dwellings over the niches or even inside the mausoleums, creating a strange coexistence with the deceased. For them, daily life passes between graves and memories of those who are no longer there, with children playing near the tombstones and adults working or resting among the marble statues. Although poverty is the main reason that forces these people to inhabit these places, it is also a way to survive in a space where living costs and overcrowding in urban areas are unbearable. But in this country, there is a cemetery even more extraordinary and famous than these, and that is the Camiguin Underwater Cemetery, located on the volcanic island of Camiguin, in the south of the country. This place is unique because the tombs and crosses are submerged in the seawaters, creating a surreal landscape. The Camiguin Underwater Cemetery has its origin in a volcanic eruption that occurred in the area in the year 1870. During this eruption, the Hibak volcano caused great destruction in the ancient city of Katarman. This eruption not only devastated the city, but also breached a dam, causing a massive flood that covered the area where the original cemetery was located. The waters advanced, submerging the tombs and creating the unique setting we know today. After the tragedy, the inhabitants of Camiguin, instead of rebuilding the cemetery on land, decided to continue burying their dead at sea, thus maintaining this underwater cemetery. Today, this place is a fascinating tourist attraction, especially for divers who can observe the graves and crosses submerged in the crystal-clear waters of the island. Thinking of natural wonders, a trip to the Philippines would never be complete without exploring its greatest treasures, those places where beauty has been shaped by centuries of evolution and the nature of this extreme country. Among these jewels, Palawan stands out as the most beautiful island in the Philippines, and one of the most beautiful on the planet. A true paradise that attracts travelers from all over the world. Located in the southwest of the archipelago, Palawan offers a landscape that looks like something out of a dream, with its tropical climate, jungle-covered mountains, white sand beaches, and crystal-clear waters. Its geological formation is equally impressive, with subway lagoons, karst mountains, and a unique biodiversity that makes it a natural sanctuary. Palawan's beaches are also spectacular. Among these beaches, such as El Nido, with its fine sand and turquoise waters, are recognized as the most beautiful in the world. This recognition has much to do with the surrounding space, the clarity of its waters, and having a unique coral reef in the world, which attracts both experienced divers and beginners. This reef is home to an incredible variety of marine life, such as tropical fish, turtles, and multicolored corals, creating a paradise for diving enthusiasts. In addition, the island of Palawan is home to unique species such as the saltwater crocodile and the long-tailed monkey, making it a must-see destination for ecotourists and biologists. Going into the detail of the saltwater crocodile, it is good to know that it is one of the most impressive and fearsome creatures on the planet, due to its enormous size and deadly power. It mainly inhabits more isolated areas less frequented by humans, such as the mangroves and estuaries of the more remote regions of Palawan. Fortunately, for tourists seeking to enjoy the beauty of paradises like El Nido, this dangerous reptile is not found near tourist areas, preferring habitats less disturbed by human activity. However, as in any natural environment, it is always advisable to be attentive to warning signs. Going into the details of these impressive animals, it is interesting to know that the Philippines has some of the largest crocodiles on the planet. In the year 2009, a shocking case shook a small community on the island of Mindanao, in the southern Philippines, where a gigantic crocodile attacked and killed 2 students, generating a wave of fear that quickly spread throughout the region. Over the next 2 years, the crocodile terrorized villagers, attacking fishermen and killing water buffalo, which spread panic in nearby villages. Capturing this beast was a challenge. An expert crocodile hunter, after months of searching, managed to catch the animal, which turned out to be more than 6 meters long. This crocodile, nicknamed Lo Long, was captured in the Philippines and is recognized to this day as the largest crocodile ever recorded, with an official length of 6.17 meters. Most surprisingly, eyewitness reports suggested that the real culprit was much larger, reaching up to 12 meters according to local estimates. From Uncensored World, we hope that it was more imagination or legend, or that if true, this crocodile will never come close to a Philippine village or town. This event left a mark that still lingers in nearby communities, where the presence of these predators is still feared and respected, and stories of giant crocodiles are still told among the inhabitants with an air of mystery and terror. But incredible as it may seem, in Palawan as in the rest of the Philippines, there is a far more unexpected and lethal danger than the dreaded crocodiles: the coconut. The Philippines is the world's second largest coconut producer and one of the world's leading mango exporters. Extensive coconut groves are all over the country and were planted during the Second World War to develop the agricultural sector. This fruit, also essential in the daily lives of Filipinos, is not only a key source of livelihood, used in a wide variety of products from food to beverages, oils, and cosmetics, but has also become one of the leading causes of accidental deaths in the country. Coconut palms, which can reach astonishing heights of up to 30 meters or more, produce fruits that, when they fall, descend with impressive force. A single coconut falling from the top of a tree can cause serious injury or even death. In this country, it is said that more Filipinos die each year from falling coconuts on their heads than from many other types of accidents or hazards. This great risk, though little known to tourists, is a reality in rural areas and near coconut plantations, where coconut trees, despite being symbols of life and prosperity, also represent a hidden risk that especially preys on those who walk under their shade. Returning to the wonders of Palawan, it is good to go into the detail of the region known as El Nido, a place where natural magic reaches its peak. This archipelago is made up of 45 islands and cays, surrounded by a deep blue sea, and flanked by huge karst rock formations. The scenery is so impressive that it is often said to look like something out of an adventure movie. Hidden lagoons, such as the famous Laguna Secreta, are a unique destination for travelers looking to explore unspoiled landscapes and relax in an environment completely removed from the urban hustle and bustle. For the adventurous, El Nido offers a variety of activities such as kayaking, scuba diving, and hiking in the mountains. Travelers can explore its deserted beaches, swim in turquoise waters, and enjoy the tranquility of this tropical paradise. El Nido is also known for its relaxed atmosphere and hospitality, making it an ideal place to escape the stresses of everyday life. In its villages, the locals are welcoming, always willing to share stories about their culture and traditions. In addition, the gastronomic offer in the area is incredibly fresh, with freshly caught seafood served in numerous beachside restaurants at very affordable prices. Eating in front of the turquoise waters and surrounded by this paradise makes every meal a unique experience. Thinking of the waters of the most precious of the seas, the best time has come to meet the most extraordinary tribe of the Philippines, the Bajau, also known as the fishmen. The Bajau are a nomadic ethnic group that inhabits the waters of Southeast Asia, mainly in the coastal areas of the Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Their homes are as extraordinary as they are extraordinary, in that they are not on land, but consist of small wooden boats known as lepa-lepa and floating villages built on stakes in shallow water. For centuries, the Bajau have lived almost exclusively at sea, leading an itinerant life that has given them an intimate understanding of the oceans that is unique in the world. For this tribe, the sea is not only their home, but also their main source of sustenance. That is why the Bajau are also known to be exceptional fishermen and shellfish gatherers, skills they have honed over generations. So extraordinary is this connection to the sea that it can be seen in their most striking tradition, known as Ruma Bahru, which literally translates as new house. This custom takes place right after a marriage and symbolizes the beginning of a new life for the Bajau couple. To help them with this, immediately after the wedding, the direct family of the bride and groom gathers to build them a houseboat, which will be the home of this new couple. This construction is much more than a simple gesture. It is a collective act that strengthens family and community ties, ensuring that the couple has a place of their own in the vast sea. Once the houseboat is completed, the Bajau celebrate with a great feast, marking the end of the construction and the beginning of a new stage for the newlyweds. During this feast, the community comes together to share food, music, and joy in a celebration that can last for hours. The high point of this tradition comes when, in the midst of the celebration, the bride and groom are invited to consummate their wedding night on their newly constructed houseboat. This act is seen as the culmination of the ritual, where the passion and love of the newlyweds are unleashed in the intimacy of their new home, floating on the water that has witnessed the lives of their ancestors. But what really distinguishes the Bajau is not only their ability to live in the sea, but the way their bodies have evolved to adapt to this extreme environment. Recent scientific studies have revealed that the Bajau possess a genetic mutation that allows them to dive to impressive depths and remain underwater for prolonged periods of time, without the use of any diving equipment. Changes that have been taking place over the centuries until they have truly become fishmen, the nickname by which many people know them. One of the most amazing adaptations they possess is the enlargement of the spleen, an organ that in the Bajau is approximately 50% larger than that of the average person. This enlarged spleen allows them to store more red blood cells, which in turn increases the amount of oxygen available to their bodies during prolonged dives. This phenomenon, known as the dive reflex, is an evolutionary adaptation that gives them a significant advantage when diving for food. In this way, we could safely say that the Bajau have developed superpowers due to the way they coexist with their environment, to the point of being considered fishmen, thus becoming the closest link between humans and aquatic creatures, the closest thing to the mythical mermaids that exist in reality. Thanks to all this, the Bajau have developed an impressive ability to hold their breath underwater, being able to do so for more than 5 minutes, helping them to descend to depths of more than 70 meters, something that would cause a fatal decompression capable of causing death to most humans, and giving them the reputation of being the best divers in the world. It is as if the ocean has molded their bodies into superhuman beings, capable of defying the limits of what the rest of us humans consider possible. Thinking about all this, we take this opportunity to ask you, How long do you think you could last underwater? Would you like to have superpowers like the Bajau? Or would you prefer to get to know the Filipino people and their most wonderful places in more detail? Pause the video and leave us your comment. You know that doing so is the best way for you to support Uncensored World, helping us to keep working to bring you the best content. Besides that, it will be great to read you so that we can all get an idea of the diversity of realities among us. So, thank you. Once we have met the most extraordinary tribe in this country and one of the most incredible in the world, it is good to discover some of the most controversial places and realities in the Philippines. In this country, due to poverty and lack of opportunities, difficult realities exist in some areas of the Philippines. Many women, sometimes driven by economic necessity, are known to offer themselves to tourists or seek to woo them, seeking relationships with them as a form of livelihood. In a country where the minimum daily wage is around $10, many people have to look for the best way to survive, and this has given rise to complex situations, where women, in particular, often seek ways to improve their quality of life and overcome the difficulties they face. In this context, many Filipino women have ventured into relationships with foreign men as a way of escaping poverty, seeking a better quality of life and emotional stability. This phenomenon, although controversial, has given rise to a sort of unspoken industry in which resorts and travel agencies promote Filipino-style romance, targeting Western men seeking a serious or, in some cases, more casual relationship. Destinations such as Siargao Island have gained notoriety for attracting Western tourists with the promise of finding a partner, particularly among those who are willing to offer a better life to women who see in them an opportunity to improve their future. Because of this, there are many voices indicating that Filipino women adore the white man, to the point of trying to attract these tourists in search of a mate in the country. The whiter, the better, according to them. For all these things, in the Philippines, festivities and traditions often combine culture, spectacle, and a touch of sensuality, especially in tourist destinations. One of the most striking expressions of this mix is the famous Bikini Open, an event held at various beaches and tourist spots, such as Boracay, Puerto Galera, and parts of Cebu. During these parades, hundreds of Filipinos parade in tiny bikinis under the watchful eyes of foreign tourists, displaying not only their beauty, but also their confidence and joy. These events often include vibrant music, dancing to the rhythm of the waves, and contests that exalt the elegance and sensuality of the participants, making them a fascinating experience for locals and visitors alike. Beyond the spectacle, the Bikini Open has an air of implicit seduction that especially attracts single tourists looking to get to know the Philippines from a more intimate and relaxed perspective. These festivities not only celebrate feminine beauty, but also the festive spirit and Filipino hospitality. Would you like to enjoy an open bikini? Would you dare to be the one who dances? We'd love to read you in the comments, and if the answer is yes, it's good to know that places like White Beach in Boracay or Sabang Beach in Puerto Galera are famous for hosting these events. Very soon we will go into the detail of some of the reasons that make much of the world consider Filipinos as the most beautiful men and women in Southeast Asia. But before that, you will meet the most marginal and darkest neighborhood in the country, one of the most extreme places for life on the planet, the scariest neighborhood in the Philippines, the neighborhood of Tondo. Tondo is located in Manila, the capital of the country and the city with the largest extension of slums in the world. Although there is no official data, it is estimated that more than 4 million people in Manila live in slums. The Tondo district is unique among them all, as it is considered the most overcrowded slum in the world. Its streets mingle stories of struggle, extreme poverty, and an indomitable spirit that refuses to give up. Life in Tondo is the best reflection of the harsh reality faced by many Filipino communities. In Tondo, children play in the dusty streets, while families try to survive in makeshift homes. Extreme poverty, space limitations, and high birth rates have created a situation where many families struggle to find a place to live. often sharing a cramped space with other families. For the inhabitants of neighborhoods like Tondo, the daily struggle to survive in an overcrowded environment is a constant reality. With an average of 80,000 people per square mile, there are areas where there are as many as 200,000 people per square mile. To put it in perspective, it would be as if there were between 220 and 550 people living in a soccer field. Because of this reality, in these neighborhoods, housing is built in an improvised way and without many resources in any place, being unfortunately one of the most common to build them near large toxic dumps where many of the inhabitants work. The small houses are usually very small and made of non-resistant materials, with very large families living in them, since the Philippines has the highest birth rate in Southeast Asia. These places also lack running water, toilets, kitchens, and proper ventilation, being plagued by diseases that make it very difficult to survive. Many people even live inside the sewers due to lack of space and high crime. In the Tondo district, in addition to the high population density, they also face numerous criminal activities that are part of the daily life of the residents, making survival even more difficult. The presence of gangs, trafficking of illegal substances, and other types of crime are common in this area, contributing to an environment of constant insecurity and violence. These conditions make it so difficult for the locals to survive and improve their living conditions that this is one of the most horrible and dangerous areas on the planet. As you have been able to see, this neighborhood is surely in the top of the most horrible places to live. A contrast very contrary to the incomparable beauty of this country and its people. As we mentioned, the women and men of the Philippines are considered the most beautiful in Southeast Asia, and much of this is due to the cultural and ethnic mix that has existed in this natural paradise for centuries. Their physical attractiveness is due in part to the mix of races that characterizes the country, a product of its colonial past, which combined indigenous, Spanish, American, and Asian influences. This cultural melting pot has given rise to a diverse and dazzling population, where exotic and unique features can be found, as captivating as the surrounding landscape. Speaking of traditions, one of the Filipinos' most beloved pastimes is karaoke. To say they love karaoke is an understatement, as they are deeply passionate about it. In any corner of the Philippines, whether in the bustling city or in a remote village in the mountains, you can find a karaoke bar where people gather to sing and enjoy each other's company. It doesn't matter that not everyone has privileged voices. The important thing is to have fun, laugh, and be part of the party. In many homes, families rent karaoke machines for 24 hours, especially for celebrations such as birthdays, which can result in loud nights full of singing and merriment. Although the volume may be loud, neighbors understand that it is a celebration and, in turn, know that they too can enjoy that same freedom when it is their turn. Another curiosity that surprises many is in the Filipino cuisine, another reflection of its rich culture. Among the most unusual and well-known delicacies is balut, a fertilized duck egg that, although it may seem strange to visitors, is a very common snack in the streets of the Philippines. Its flavor is appreciated by many, and it is considered a typical delicacy that is especially enjoyed on party nights or at family gatherings. Although its consumption has declined due to the influence of Western food and river pollution, balut remains a symbol of Philippine cuisine. In many night markets, street vendors offer this delicacy while proudly narrating its cultural significance. Tasting it is an act that goes beyond the taste. It is to delve into one of the oldest and most curious traditions of the country. Would you dare to try it? It will be great to read you in the comments. Thank you. Thinking about thank you, it's good to understand that in the Philippines, the culture of respect is amazing and touches many foreign visitors. In the Filipino language, the use of words like po and opo when talking to elders is a deeply rooted show of courtesy. In addition, gestures such as touching an adult's hand and bringing it to the forehead, known as mano po, are expressions of respect for the older generation. Affectionate and respectful terms such as ate, older sister, and kuya, older brother, are also used to refer to people with closeness or authority. This system reflects the strong family and community values that form the basis of Philippine society. Continuing with beauty, the Philippines has a place so magical that it seems unreal, a lake so unique that it defies logic and looks like something out of a dream. Lake Taal, on the island of Luzon. This magical enclave is home to a geographical phenomenon unique in the world that baffles even the most experienced explorers. Imagine an island containing a lake, inside of which there is another island that, in turn, surrounds another inner lake. This formation, almost like a mirage, seems to defy the laws of nature and has been a source of fascination for centuries. The mystery originates in the Taal Volcano, one of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines, which shaped this extraordinary landscape through massive eruptions over thousands of years. Taal Lake, which surrounds the volcano, is actually a huge volcanic caldera formed after an explosion millennia ago. At the center of this caldera emerges Volcano Island, which holds within it another lake, known as Crater Lake. As if that were not enough, in this last body of water lies one more small island, Vulcan Point, the surprising remnant of an ancient volcanic dome. This phenomenon is more than a natural curiosity. It is a testimony to the geological forces that have shaped this paradise. The whole creates an optical illusion, almost a mirage, which seems difficult to comprehend at first glance. But the Philippines is captivating not only for its natural beauty, but also for its geological dynamism. A reality that has much to do with the fact that it is located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most active and agitated areas of the planet. This seismic and volcanic arc surrounds the Pacific Ocean, where tectonic plates converge, creating frequent earthquakes and volcanic activity. Paradoxically, this instability is responsible for the extraordinary beauty of the Philippines, a country in constant transformation by the forces of nature. With a total of 24 active volcanoes, the archipelago is a living testimony of how chaos can sculpt incredible wonders. Among these volcanoes, the Mayon volcano stands out, often described as the most beautiful volcano in the world thanks to its perfect conical shape. This volcano, located in the Bicol region, has been a national icon and a source of fascination for locals and tourists alike. Although its serene beauty is captivating, Mayon is an active and dangerous volcano, with eruptions recorded for centuries, most recently in January of the year 2018, which forced the evacuation of thousands of people. For visitors, the area offers activities such as hiking on its slopes, walks leading to spectacular viewpoints, and the opportunity to explore the surroundings while appreciating its imposing symmetry. Natural disasters are not uncommon in the Philippines, and each carries with it an air of mystery and tragedy. A recent example is Typhoon Haiyan in the year 2013, one of the strongest cyclones in recorded history. Some locals believe that disasters, in part, are warnings from nature to remind us of the fragility of the balance between humans and the environment. In some areas, local legends add a mystical aura to these phenomena, such as tales of ghostly apparitions or mysterious lights prior to earthquakes and eruptions. Beyond volcanoes, the Philippines is a country of unique landscapes, such as the Chocolate Hills in Bajau, a fascinating set of more than 1,200 cone-shaped hills that take on a brownish hue in the dry season, resembling giant mounds of chocolate. Leaving aside the many natural wonders of the Philippines, another reality that amazes tourists in the Philippines is the jeepney, a one-of-a-kind local transport. This iconic mode of transportation has its roots in World War II, when Filipinos began recycling old U.S. military jeeps to create a public transportation network. Today, these vehicles are loud, colorful, and loaded with personality, transporting workers through the congested streets of Manila and other corners of the country. Before we discover how best to travel around the Philippine Islands and understand why it is considered one of the cheapest countries in the world, let's explore two of its main attractions: its vibrant street markets and the incredible experience of swimming with the whale shark. the most imposing giant in the ocean. These two experiences, though very different, encapsulate the essence of the country, its connection to everyday life, and its incomparable natural wealth. Street markets are the beating heart of Philippine cities, especially in Manila. These spaces are not only points of commerce, but also a reflection of the daily lives of Filipinos. To stroll through a street market is to immerse oneself in a vibrant world where colors, smells, and sounds intertwine. From food stalls offering local dishes such as adobo, pancit, or traditional sweets, to small makeshift stores selling everything from clothes to tools, the markets are a spectacle in themselves. On top of that, in a country where many families lack kitchens or refrigerators, these markets become an essential resource to buy fresh food every day and help in the lives of these people. A place that not only supplies the population, but also offers tourists a unique cultural experience. As you can see, for nature and sea lovers, the Philippines is a true paradise. Among these realities, swimming with whale sharks is one of the most fascinating experiences. Cebu, in particular, is a must-see destination for those who wish to admire these giants of the ocean. In places like Oslob, visitors have the opportunity to swim alongside these majestic animals, an experience that combines adventure, excitement, and a deep connection with marine life. Cebu is not only known for its whale sharks, but also for its spectacular scenery. White sandy beaches, crystal clear waters, and a marine biodiversity that looks like something out of a documentary. Although the whale shark encounter is an unforgettable experience, it is also important to be aware of the ethical debates surrounding this activity, especially regarding the artificial feeding of these animals to attract them to these areas. Therefore, it is best to be well informed before hiring a tour of this type to understand the best way to enjoy this experience in harmony with nature. At this point of the trip, you would probably like to know the best way to enjoy this paradise to the fullest. Discovering how to get to magical places like El Nido and the different options that make the Philippines not only a beautiful destination, but also one of the most economical to explore. This country offers alternatives for all budgets, from backpackers to luxury travelers, ensuring that any type of visitor can discover its charms without going broke. To reach the Philippines from abroad, most international flights land in Manila, the capital, or in Cebu, another large city with excellent connections. From Europe or America, flights usually require a stopover in Asian cities such as Dubai, Singapore, or Hong Kong. Spanish travelers, like many citizens of European and American countries, do not need a visa for stays of up to 30 days, although it is advisable to check the latest policies before traveling. Getting around the Philippines is quite an adventure. The country is made up of more than 7,000 islands, so transportation combines flights, ferries, and bus travel. Local airlines such as Cebu Pacific or Air Asia offer cheap flights to connect major cities and regions. If you are looking to explore a region as iconic as Palawan, you can fly from Manila to Puerto Princesa, the main gateway, or directly to El Nido if you prefer direct access to this paradisiacal area. For example, a flight from Manila to Puerto Princesa can cost between $22 and $45 if you book in advance, while a direct flight to El Nido can be a bit more expensive, hovering around $78 or more depending on the season. To get there from Puerto Princesa, you can take a bus or a shared van, inexpensive options that cost around 15 to 20 euros and take about 5 to 6 hours. Once in El Nido, getting around is easy. Renting a motorcycle is the most popular and economical way to explore the area, with prices ranging from 5 to 10 euros per day, 5 to 11 US dollars. This allows you to visit beaches and viewpoints at your own pace. For short trips, motorized tricycles are another practical and affordable option, with fares ranging from 1 to 3 euros, 1 to 3 US dollars each way, depending on the distance. Exploring El Nido and the surrounding area is an affordable dream for most. Boat tours touring the lagoons and hidden beaches usually cost between $20 and $30 per person, and usually include lunch. For the adventurous, renting a kayak or snorkeling are other inexpensive options that will allow you to admire the marine life and crystal-clear waters of this unique place. Accommodation in the Philippines also has options for all budgets. In Palawan, for example, you can find backpacker hostels for about $15 a night, while boutique hotels and beachfront resorts can cost between 60 and 200 euros, depending on the season and amenities. As for food, the Philippines is a gastronomic paradise with inexpensive and delicious alternatives. Street food is one of the country's great jewels. For just 2 or 3 euros, you can enjoy local dishes such as adobo, lumpia, spring rolls, or the famous chicken and pork skewers. For a dinner in a simple restaurant, 2 people can spend about $20, while in a more exclusive place, the cost can go up to $40 or $50. As you can see, whatever your budget, with its affordable costs, rich culture, and natural diversity, the Philippines has established itself as one of Asia's favorite destinations. From the hustle and bustle of Manila to the tranquility of Palawan, this country promises unforgettable experiences for all types of travelers. From Uncensored World, we hope this video has helped you discover the Philippines, as you have seen, one of the most fascinating and beautiful jewels of the planet. If so, do not hesitate to leave us a nice like and a comment. It is the best way to help us to keep working every week to bring you interesting content like this. Or like this video that you can watch now, to discover another of the most mysterious and beautiful places on the planet. Click on it and you will enjoy it.